Hi everyone and welcome back, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you 14 shortcuts on Figma so you can design more productively and better so you don't waste much of your time. Alright, so if you know nothing about Figma and you are a complete beginner, now I'm going to give you these 5 shortcuts. These are the essential ones that you are going to use every day and they are going to save you the time. I'm going to basically design a photo screen for a photography app. So let's say we have this frame iPhone 13 min and we want to add some text to it, and the shortcut for adding text is actually pressing the T, and that lets you add, let's say, photos. And on the right side we have this section. I'm gonna want this to have auto width, and I'm gonna basically style it around, let's say, 24 to 48. And the next things I want are other texts, and the way to do it is, again, I'm gonna use the text here, and I'm gonna want this to be, let's say, vocation, and I want this to be unbolded, let's say regular, 16 pixels, and auto width as well. I'm gonna press Command C, Command V. In the later part of the tutorial I'm gonna show you an easier way to copy and paste elements with spacing, but not right now. So this can be vocation, this can be work, this can be, let's say, relationship, your types of photos, and this can also be, let's say, Christmas, you named it. And so these are the texts we are gonna work with, and it's gonna make sense. And then I want the photo to actually show the photos. I need to have a rectangle first, and that's your second hotkey, which is to create a rectangle, which is a shape you will create a lot on Figma. You press the R key and we will have, let's say, 144 pixels. That is pretty good. And I'm gonna copy and paste it, and I'm gonna select both of them and copy and paste them with Command C, Command V as well. And now what I want to do is I basically want some sort of a profile photo, and for that I will need a circle on this right side. And to do that, really what we can do is we are gonna press O, and I can have this here. Let's give this 36 pixels to 36 pixels, and that will be your actual avatar. And actually, let us add an avatar. Let's go to right click, plugins, Unsplash. If you don't have Unsplash, which is an essential plugin I recommend, please watch my videos of the essential plugins. I will link for this video, and it should show on the top right now. And I'm gonna pick, sorry, not Unsplash, but I'm gonna pick avatar. Do I have an avatar? Where are you? User profile, my bad. And this is one of the essential plugins that I like. And you can still watch the video, and boom, we have a avatar there. And so now we know how to do the text, rectangle, and circle. Once you begin working with people, the other designers or developers, a thing you will use a lot is to actually give a command to a design. You will press C and you can write awesome design, and that will not be a good command, but you know, this is actually very useful. I do this daily. And the fifth shortcut I'm going to show you is actually to pick color. So in Figma you can actually pick a color for, let's say, this text here that we have. I'm gonna zoom out a bit. You can pick a color in here with the fill, and you can just go here. But if you want to pick a color from a page, a good shortcut for this is to actually press Ctrl C, and this lets me pick something, and boom, I have that blue color there, which is fantastic. And that's the first phase. Now for the next set of plugins, the way you view your elements or frames is very important, because design will get messy. And what that means is you will have, let's say, 100 screens here. Let's zoom out here. And on a normal production level project, you will have 100 screens here, and you will try to find the ones that you like. And let's say I'm around here, and imagine all these 100 screens there. The thing you can to actually focus on the frame screen you selected is pressing a shortcut as Shift 2, and this will basically just zoom in till you have this frame zoomed in already, and it's a very good shortcut. I can do it again. I can be somewhere here, and if I press Shift 2, my focus is going to be to the frame that is selected. And if you want 100% zoom in instead of an arbitrary number, you can always do Shift 0, and that will give you the 100%, which I use a lot daily as well. And then what you can do is you can always want to hide certain elements in certain situations. So let's say this rectangle, I want to hide it. One thing you can do on Figma as a shortcut is Command Shift H, and that hides the element. And if you don't want to use a shortcut, you can always go here. This is especially useful when you are testing background colors, but it can be used for any other element to see how you want to structure your content. So it's very key. It's Command Shift H again. And another thing you can always do is, so to actually show the last one, I want to first implement some of these images. So I wanna, let's say, let's go to the plugins and use Unsplash to add some images here, and let's do some, let's say nature, which are pictures we picked during the vacation, and we picked, yep, this one, and for this we picked this one. We are pretty good at photography. That's what I figured. And for this one we picked this, and we are also a bit hipster, so we picked this one. All right, so now we are having a bit much more of a screen that looks like an application. And a thing you want to do is, and you know, we can style these, right? So we can actually have them have different widths. So this can have 280/80. So let's go down here a bit, and let's go like this. So that's like 12 pixels. And you can always have these go up a bit. Doop, doop, doop. Have the same. Basically, I'm trying to go for 8 pixels here. 8, and between each other they can also be 8. And this one, let's say we want to get this to be here, and you know, you can try different stuff, whatever fits your eye. We can add some radius for these to look pretty good, maybe 8, and I will add 8 for each of those here. Okay, that looks a bit better, and they are not centered yet, but so far they will do. And what you can do is, if you were to, let's say, frame elements together like these vocation work, because they are related elements for actually filter elements, I'm gonna group them, which is Alt Command G. Now they are in a frame, but so what that means is I can move things around. I can also give these text superpowers. But one thing that matters is, let's say we are working on vocation, which is going to be our chosen filter element. And I'm gonna add this rectangle, and I'm gonna group these two. Now they are in grouped chosen element, and I'm gonna move rectangle backwards here, and let's give this 4 pixels, and let's pick the rectangle's color to be this, and let's pick the rectangle's color again with our shortcut Control C. Perfect. My bad, it's the rectangle, not the group's color. Control C, and let's pick this to be white, and let's get these to be centered. Yes. All right, and maybe even more, maybe 12, and maybe the width can be 88, and I want this to be auto width and centered here. Okay, so that's our chosen element. And one thing you want to do is, once you are done working with a children element, if you might want to go work on the parent frame, and the shortcut to do that is actually press Shift Enter. So now I was at the chosen element, look at the left side, and I want to edit the parent frame. I can press Shift Enter and I will go there, and I want to add auto layout for this. Auto layout basically lets you have magical powers, and I want these to have 18 pixels, and I want all of these to be centered. And if you do not understand how to use auto layout, please watch my introduction to auto layout tutorial. It's awesome. It's gonna make you understand how these work. And what I want is, I want this frame to have basically have the whole width, because then I can specify the paddings on the left and right side, which will be 24 pixels here, and perfect. And so that will also be 24, and let's get these to be 16 between each other and 24 there. Yes, that looks great. So one thing we haven't done yet is to add the time on the top section here. So what I'm gonna do is to actually copy an element. Instead of using Command C and V, I'm gonna press Alt and drag that element, and that basically lets me copy without pressing too many things. And I'm gonna write 1641. I do not want this to be bold, so I'm gonna press Command B, and I want this to be 16, maybe 14. And I'm gonna have it here. I'm gonna have it around 24. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And what I will do now is I am gonna center align this, and I'm gonna check certain things. So one of the things that you can actually use here is you can check if an element is aligned with other elements by using a ruler. And the way to use it is a shortcut is Shift R. So this shows me now that I can actually bring out a ruler from the left or the top side, and I can check, I can place these rulers here, and that actually looks 19 pixels but is aligned. That's not bad. If I want to pick another ruler, I can get it here. And what's the here? So okay, so you can see right now my frame here for the filtering element is not aligned well, but this one is aligned pretty good. My photos aren't aligned well, and I'm gonna fix those just in a sec. So what I can do now is that I'm gonna adjust the photos width and height, and I want them to have proportional increase. To do a proportional width and height increase, meaning not like this, but I want them to be actual, the width and height to increase proportional. I will press Shift and then drag these here, and actually maybe get it here and then drag even more. And I'm gonna do that with both of these elements here, and I'm gonna put them there, and I'm gonna get them again, just a bit more drag. Perfect. And I'm gonna do this for the last element here as well. I'm gonna go, and that's great. We are going a bit out of bounds for the last one, so I'm gonna go here, and that looks pretty good in terms of alignment. One thing that I forgot to do, because I did it pretty well, is how we could move elements very fast. So usually you can just keep pressing the arrow keys here, but there's a better way to actually do this. If you wanna move them a bit fast, if you press on Shift and press your arrow keys, it will jump by 10 pixels. So instead of just pressing 10 times to go pixel by pixels, you can just jump here, and this would be the middle alignment for both of these elements. That looks pretty good. And another thing I actually forgot to mention is how you can actually copy and paste elements with spacing included, spacing ID, and I'm gonna show you. So let's say we want to have more than one text here, and right now they're padding the margin difference is 12 pixels. I don't want to keep dragging and measuring each time. One thing to do here is Command D, and it's gonna copy and paste the element, but also gonna give it the same left space margin there. See, you can see here, and I'm gonna undo these. That's also very useful. I do it all the time. And now I'm gonna fix a bit of my alignment issues with the frame here. So the alignment issue we have is actually how the frame is constructed. If I make this space between, and now we are talking the 24 pixels are great. And again, if you really don't understand how I'm using auto layout here to space things, please watch that video, introduction to auto layout. It will help you a lot. But I think these are all the hotkeys, shortcuts, and I hope they will be helpful to you because they were very helpful for me when I learned them. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. And if you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button so that you can get notification when I actually upload a new video, so we can stay in touch. Now, before you go any further, I actually added 2 videos to the end of this video that I believe will help make you a better UI UX designer on Figma. Please watch either of them if you haven't already. I believe they will improve your design skills a lot.